countdown. Like, why does it have to be 30? Anyway, welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of Big Brother 25. I'm Allison. Welcome. How is everybody?
Whew. How am I doing with Big Brother or like just in general? Because those are two very different answers.
Pick the answer that you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Like, well, of course, like we have a lot to talk about, and like one of my dear friends, Simon, he's like watching Big Brother for the first time ever. So like, I know he's tuning into our show. So like, I can't wait to like break down like the really complicated and like incredible strategy and like setup that we have. And how that came to be, right? But of course, like we have to like first address like the elephant in the room, and like I don't want us to like harp on this for too much because I am proud of CBS for taking like immediate action. But I just have to say, y'all, I was totally wrong about my winner pick for Big Brother 25.
I tried to tell you your draft sucked.
You did, and I did not listen. I was just like way too cocky from my like incredible victory last year that I just wasn't seeing straight. But so I'm sure all of you guys have heard, but Luke has been removed from the Big Brother house for using a racial slur. I'm proud of CBS for like taking action immediately and not letting this be like a rain cloud over the entire season. And from like a strategy structure wise, like I'm glad that if they had to remove one person, like I'm glad that it's Luke because like he really wasn't involved in much of anything in the house structure anyway. So I feel like the dynamics like moving forward are not going to be changed very much with him removed. So I'm glad they just like nip it in the bud and got rid of him. Yeah, Jackie, what are your thoughts on all this?
Jag even said either he is a genius and he's playing dumb, or he's actually dumb. And as we found out, he was dumb because ignorant people say ignorant things. And it's okay. He's not going to be with us for the rest of the season. That's totally fine by me.
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so, I'm so tired of like every season, and I'm white. Okay, I don't know if y'all have noticed.
Really?
I'm tired of having to explain how inappropriate it is to say these things. And I'm a white person.
Are you disappointed? Is that what it is?
I'm just tired of it. I'm like, what else do you, I don't know. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
But we have to cast these archetypes. We have to cast him because it's necessary. A lot of people don't understand that there are still people who live in the world who think like this. And then for some reason they're thinking that you have to cast this archetype so that way the ingenue can be attracted to him. So you can build this showman's off of him being hot but really ignorant. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the game. These are social experiments and it's kind of based on what we live in our everyday life, but there are a lot more people who are understanding that there's ignorance out in the world now than there are the people who are ignorant. So I'm glad, just like Tyler, I'm glad that CBS was like, nope, we don't want this to be the narrative of our show. We're doing really well. We're trying to, I mean, there's still 2 Black women on the block and one of them may go, but that's another topic for another day. We'll deal with that another time. This time we're just trying to make sure that the ignorance is gone. This is just gameplay now at this point that Kirsten and Felicia are up there, but
yeah. And I'm also glad that CBS didn't like take Jared's like minimizing of it at face value and say like if Jared thought it was okay, then it's fine, right? Because like that could have easily been like the route that they took. So like I said, like we don't have to harp on it for too much longer because like Luke is just like not really like contributing anything to the season anyway. So like bye Felicia, not Felicia, bye Felicia is what I have to say to Luke.
Jackie, I think you were going to explain a little bit just for like a second, Jared's kind of reaction, because a lot of people have a lot to say about it, but it's just, what is your take on that, his reaction?
Honestly, as a person who is, and I don't want to be offensive to anyone, but as a person who is a token, which means that we are like a rare Black or African American face that enters in these spaces, we're always going to minimize it. We're always going to say, hey, it's okay, I understand, because we are the understanding, empathetic. We're like, hey, we can't respond in that anger way because one, we're going to reap the most repercussions for being as angry as our less melanated brothers and sisters are. You all can be as angry and have that voice and get things done. If we are angry and we're like, this is enraged, now we're the ones that are threatening. We're the ones that are removed. If Jared would have said something, Jared probably would have been the one removed first, or shoot, it probably would have been both of them removed from the situation. But Jared had to sit back and minimize it because he's been in these spaces his entire life as Cerie's son, I'm sure. So he had to downplay it. And in that situation, we have to sit back and just kind of let the powers that be make the decision. Like, hey, is this something that we want our network to be okay with? Like, we're going to accept Jared's minimization of it, or are we going to step forward and fight the battle for him? And I really commend CBS for saying, no, this is a zero tolerance zone, because there are some networks, there are some shows that would have been like, hey, if Jared didn't care, we don't care, we'll just slap him on the wrist and then we'll put a statement out and everything will be fine. But his immediate removal is what I can respect the most, because now it's saying, hey, we want you welcomed here in this space. I mean, the passive use of that word, and there's a difference between ER and A, and if y'all go look at the blackening, you'll see that there's a difference. But the use of that word in the way that Luke probably meant it is probably why Jared was like, hey, it's not that big of a deal. But let's say he were to have said something to Jag in a similar way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it has to be zero tolerance. You can't use any of these in terms of endearment type phrases. And I went back and I listened to it 1,000 times, and I'm like, man, I wonder if Luke knew that if he brought his at-home behavior on this show, that it was going to end his entire career.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just insane that here we are once again, another season dealing with this again, and it has to be exhausting to be tolerant and have to explain and be paying. Like I said, I have no idea what it's like because I'm a white woman, and like you said, Jackie, it's like if Jared had reacted a certain way, he could have been expelled too. So, I just so much respect to Jared to have to, just it's crazy. But like here we are once again dealing with this crap. But onward and upward.
One last point that Cassie brings up in the chat that I think is really good to discuss real quick. She said, I'm worried they will think the solution is to not have feeds next year also. I've seen Spoiler Girl, and I know she's not the most reliable source on the streets. I understand that. But there's chatter about them talking about this is why we should remove the feeds. And I say no, this is why we should keep the feeds. I guarantee you somebody said some ignorant shit in BB Can 11 and they just totally censored it, and we have no idea that that layer of mental gymnastics that people have to walk around knowing something like that occurred in the house. It's just not a level of social parameters that should be taking place in a game like Big Brother. And the live feeds are what keep everything transparent and for accountability like this to be taken. So I hope that's the lesson that production sees in all of this, because they did the right thing this time, and I think that should be praised. Yeah.
And shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got Kylan Pierre, who has pretty much been in the chat since 9:20 this morning. Okay, that's dedication. Catlin, Cassie Lee, Samuel S., Anelda, Joseph Boza, Cassie Lee, Reynolds. I'm probably repeating names. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And hello, Andrew. How are you doing this evening?
Nice of you to finally show up.
I was trying to get here, and there was a hot tub on my way, and I just tripped, fell into the hot tub, and so I had to get myself looking a little better after my dip into the hot tub this evening. So it was an accident. I apologize.
It's all that hair you have to dry,
Yeah, well, it's ruined 4 cell phones. 4 of my
Yeah.
cell phones have now been ruined. I dropped 3 of them in the toilet, 1 of them in a hot tub. It's just it's been rough, guys. It's been rough.
Yes.
I mean, Felicia is now wearing her mic pack on the back of her shirt. I don't know if anyone has noticed that, so it won't fall off. But it's hey, it's better than getting sprayed in the face and pulled up by your undies, which sounds like a hot Saturday night about 20 years ago in Allison Land.
I need to now erase that visual from my mind. So thank you for giving me that, Allison. But no, I thought this veto competition was pretty challenging, actually. Like the shapes were like pretty complicated, and it was cool to see like the first like proper comp of the season, so we could see like, all right, who are the comp threats? Like, was Riley's win like kind of a fluke, or like is she somebody like to look out for as like a big like physical threat? And I think so, and I think Heisem is like certainly going to be like a comp threat as well moving forward. Did he have to win this veto? I don't really know, but
Well, he won it because Cirie planted a seed.
Yes, Cirie did her Cirie thing.
We can talk about Mama Cirie all day long, but before we do that, the competition, I liked it, but I thought it could have been simplified. Like, I really think that we should have done maybe. I liked it when they've done it in the past. Like, here's a time limit, or hit your buzzer when you think you have the right height in that time limit, and then if anybody passes your time limit, like I think that could have simplified the comp a whole lot more.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, but I guess like for the first like proper like veto competition of the season, like I think it's good to like make it something that's like really earned, right? I just wish that like one of the nominees, especially Kirsten, like I really enjoyed Kirsten's like edit this episode, and I hope that like so I guess we can talk about this a little bit now, but like, do we think the eviction is going to be canceled tomorrow? Like, what do we think's happening with this now that Luke is gone?
Spoiler alert, if you don't follow the live feeds and you don't know what's going on, I guess I didn't do my buffer at the beginning. Luke got removed. I was reading, I really had to get off Twitter because it was getting crazy. But some people were saying that there is a chance that there's still that rumor there's another
the
house
18th.
so that would be 18. So, but if they did continue on, it needs to be an even number. So if they did move ahead with the eviction and Kirsten, or we don't want to assume anything, Felicia goes that, and they bring in the new person, it would be 16.
So I guess like my follow-up question to that, Allison, is like, do you subscribe to the theory that there's an 18th house guest? Do you think that there's somebody else coming?
I don't know. Like, I was watching Entertainment Tonight before this, and they brought on Johnny Bananas for the E retrospect, and I was like, why? Because the challenge is coming up. But what a better way to segue into if you haven't noticed, the challenge is starting tomorrow night, because they're beating that dead horse. But no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle commercials. We talk. Wouldn't it be something if he was on Big Brother and the challenge, and he wins Big Brother and the challenge?
I don't
Johnny
know.
doesn't need to win the challenge ever again. He's
no,
good.
I agree. It's just if he has, like he said on the show days, he has stretched out 15 minutes of fame into 15 years.
Yes. There's a rotten bananas at this point. But Jackie, do you think that there's another house guest coming?
I have been subscribing to that. I've been like, maybe it would be nice just to, I mean, it's the 25th season, so they want to do all kinds of weird, wacky things and go all over the place and go all out. But if we're doing, here's my conspiracy theory. If we're doing something similar, equivalent to Cirie in like the challenge world, then I think it would be like CT, not Bananas.
I would just
if we're doing like the franchise equivalent, somebody who's like a top 10 player, won, or Cirie never won, but like, just like a big face of the franchise.
Legend.
Probably, legend. I would say CT.
I would listen to CT use the bidet.
Listen, his original season was Real World Paris. I guarantee you they had a bidet in that chateau.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you think there's an 18th house ghost coming?
Okay, so let's talk about the whole scenario, right?
Uh-oh.
And I will say,
Yeah.
I have, and Kim is saying CT is my guest too. I have talked to my big brother aficionado Kim Bettina several times on this. So I'm going to talk about my theories and her theories and kind of combine them into all of them. Am I echoing?
No.
Okay, cool. I've got my volume turned down way low because my headphones were dead, blah, blah, blah. It's been a day, first day of school vibes. Last year when we had this same scenario, and let me say, if Kirsten survives, it is the Taylor Hale, what?
Sorry, I don't want her to survive.
But if she survives, it is the Taylor Hale path.
Yeah.
Right? Taylor Hale was dead man walking.
She was supposed to be evicted.
Was survived by a not removal, but removal, quit, whatever we call last year happened. So that's the path. But last year, the person that left, Paloma, I think was her name. I forget. Quitters.
Yeah.
Names.
It was Paloma.
She was nominated.
Paloma went a home.
She was nominated when that happened. She was actually on the block. So with Luke not being nominated, I don't know that they canceled the eviction. And that's where I'm curious. So there's my theory on that. Now we go into the theory. I could see a challenge person joining the cast just because they're going to try to boot challenge. But I'm still on my coach's theory. I don't know if there's only one person eliminated tomorrow, I don't think we get anything new. I think we get something new when it gets down to 15. And I think we get 3 coaches and 3 teams of 5.
I don't think anybody else is coming this season. Like, I know there's like lots of chatter about like Derek X coming in, like, and nobody's like seen him on social media lately. Apparently Claire was at the Taylor Swift concert or not with Derek X, even though she like filmed a bunch of like stuff, like making it seem like he was like taking the videos of her. So like there's some theories, but I feel like they're just trolling us. Like I personally don't believe there's another house guest coming. I think Cirie was the get. And I don't see how you top Cirie Fields joining the Big Brother
Danielle
house.
Reyes with Cirie Fields. Danielle Reyes with Cirie Fields. That's how you top it. Danielle Reyes is how you top it. Back on the Claire thing, she did tweet out today with the whole Luke scenario.
Okay. Yeah.
She was one of the first that, like, before BB acted, she tweeted and said,
"No, I'm saying Derek X would join, not Claire."
But no, I'm saying, but DX didn't do anything.
Oh, right, yeah. See, like, but I feel like they're playing this up, right? Like that's the vibe that I'm getting anyway. I just for like the game structure and where it's at right now. I don't want there to be another house guest. Like, we have such a cool divide right now. That I just feel like somebody as capable as Danielle Reyes would just come in and like just gridlock the whole thing in like a mastermindy type of way. That I don't really want this season, you know? Like I like the divide.
You don't want New York in the house?
Oh, I would be okay with New York. I think I said in the draft, if the whole cast is just the flavor of Love Girls, I would be totally fine with that. So anybody, go ahead, Andrew.
Well, explain to me then in your theory, explain the 18 beds. Why are there 18 beds in the house?
I don't know. You have me stumped. Like, I don't have an answer for that. But I don't know. I just hope like I'm really enjoying like the setup we have here. I think I'm just like talking like selfishly about like what I want for the rest of the season.
You don't want anybody else to go.
I don't want anybody else because like the structure is so cool, and I'm like biting at the bit to like start talking about it here. Which like should we now, or like do we want to speculate a little bit further? Because I'm ready.
This man's got to be up at 4:30, so let's get speculating.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I am going to bring up a little graphic that somebody on Twitter called Mel Brown 00 made, and I think this like visualizes like what's going on perfectly. And
Can
I think
we just point out it's week 1 and we have 6.
Yes. So, basically, so like this is like the state of the house, you guys. And like if I'm like saying anything wrong, or if like you have any questions, like I'm doing like the best I can. But like Allison, you're right. Like it has been going like 0 to 60, like bananas, like crazy. So all of this started.
Johnny Bananas.
In this picture. Can we also talk about how the fact that this was made pre-Luke's departure? Yes,
yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like that's why like Luke, like bye. You know what I mean? Like that's like I like whatever. So it all started with like Riley and Jag, right? Like so of course like we saw in Big Brother 22 like. I don't know if you remember the graphic that I like kept like posting like week after week after week about like Cody being in like the circle, and then there was like an outer layer and then like another outer layer outside of that. So basically like the committee was like a big majority alliance that formed like all together. And then you like once you're like in that majority alliance, you kind of like have side conversations like, you know, like let's like this is like an 8, but like we're like the 2 and we're gonna like go all the way, right? Whereas like instead, like Riley and Jag have created the structure from the inside out instead. So instead of getting a big group together, Riley and Jag say, let's bring in Blue, let's make like a final 3 with her. And then after that, those 3 decided, all right, we need like a majority alliance. So let's bring in Matt, let's bring in Cameron. Cool. So now we're like a 5, we're the handful, like still a named alliance, like still pretty strong. But then after that is like where the cookie really starts to crumble, right? Because they have this group of 5 and they realize that like 5 is still not a majority in this situation. So like we need a few more, we need 8. So let's bring in Corey, and Riley can say like, listen, I just saved you from the block. So you owe me. So like work with me. And also same with Jared. And I feel like Blue has like a really good personal connection with America. So they figured like that would be a good 8th person to bring in. The problem with that though, and we saw Corey in the diary room tonight, like talking about how he felt about like the way Jag presented this alliance to Corey was so terribly bad. Like Jag basically said like, all right, we have like a group of 5 already and we just need like a few more people. And like if you're Corey in that situation, like are you supposed to be grateful that you are like the 8th in like an 8th person alliance? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make you feel good knowing that like the structure has already been created. You're just being brought in last minute. So already, and Corey is a very smart, capable, strategic player. So he knows that like this is not the long-term game for him. It's not good. And also same for Jared as well. So of course, like you know, with like a big like majority alliance structure forming, like often we see like the people left out of that really struggling to get something together because before like when they realize that like it's like a big alliance and they're not a part of it, it's too late. Like I'm talking like how long it took like Kevin in Big Brother All Stars to figure out that like the committee was a thing, like that type of thing. But the issue here is Jared is like a double agent for Cirie. Like I think Cirie being in this game has just and like Jared's position specifically as kind of like the mole, like the rat to Cirie. Like Jared like named like the entire 8-person alliance to Cirie. Mm-hmm. So now that Cirie of all players, right? Now that Cirie knows that like there is this majority alliance formed without her, that gives Cirie the go ahead to kind of create like another structure and create like a counter resistance, right? So of course, like she brings in Felicia and Nicole, and then Izzy is also like ride or die for Cirie. Like Izzy already would like give up her own game for Cirie. Like it is like it reminds me so much of like how Andy was to Cirie in the Traitors. It's like the exact same alliance member. So they bring in Izzy and Bowie Jane, and they create the Bye Bye Bitches, which we saw tonight. But then, of course, like they realize the same problem that the Handful Alliance had. That like, all right, the 5 is not like a majority, so we need to like bring in more people, right? So they brought in Red, they brought in Bowie Jane, and they brought in Heisem. And now the difference between like the professors and family style is, you know how like Corey and Jared are like feeling like left out because they were brought in last. Cirie has done a much more better job like making individual personal relationships with each of these people. So like the cut from like 8 to 5 to 3 like isn't as clear, especially with like Jared being like having this like secret partnership with Cirie. Everybody's kind of blinded except for Izzy to the fact that like Jared and Cirie are related. So like this setup is so perfect, you guys. And it reminds me so much of like Big Brother 6, where like we had those like two really strong sides of the house like battling against each other. But I feel like it's even more complex this season because everything feels so much more fragile. Like I don't see like it's interesting to see like the individual like players like positions within like their groups and everything, but there's already like so much like distrust because like information is just like spilling like crazy. Like Riley had like a freaking breakdown to Cirie of all people in her HOH room, and she was like crying and saying like this is like way too stressful. I like Riley like gave up like a alliance like numbers to I think not only to Jared but I believe to Heisem as well. Like the information is just so loose that like I feel like nobody trusts each other even within their groups already. But the problem is like when it's like the divide is like this strong, like there are two like groups of 8 and everything is split down the middle. If you can't trust the people in your own alliance, like where do you go? Because the other 8 are already like presumably more tight than like if you were to try to infiltrate like an individual group, if that makes any sense. So I'm just like really loving this setup here. I hope I gave like a good enough explanation of that. If anybody wants to get me off of my strategic soapbox, I'm just so excited. Like this could not be better. And I think like the success of like which side is going to win is really going to hinge on how well can Cirie use Jared as that double agent? How like far along can that go in the season before people are figuring it out? And Riley and Jack are already starting to like talk a little bit about like, you know, could it be Jared? Like they're starting to feel like there is like a mole within the group. So I don't know, like this is like a test that Cirie has never had in one of these games. And I just cannot wait to see her achieve it with flying colors, in my opinion. Like if I had to put money on one group or the other, I'm definitely putting it on the professors.
I love Cirie so much. If I were in the Big Brother house, I'd be so excited to see her. But watching her play Survivor 4 times and winning the Traitors, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but it would be wise to remove her from to get her out, man, because she's going to win. I don't want her out. I want to see her play. I'm just telling you, dude, she's amazing. Ain't nobody going to vote against her. Nobody's going to vote against her. I will say if it's I'm sorry. I'm Southern. I'm not used to saying Felicia. Okay. Down here, we say Felicia. So I'm sorry if I messed that up. But if it's Felicia and Cirie sitting next to each other, that'll be neck and neck. But I just, wow. I feel, man, just, she's got to go. She's got to go. Got to go.
And the crazy thing, Allison, is like, Cirie's like not even like the first target out of like that group, which is also just like mind-boggling to me that like everybody knows that like they don't know about Jared, but like they know that like Cirie is this like legendary player of these games. And the fact that like if Riley's side were to win another HOH like that tomorrow, the targets would be Heisem and Izzy. Like those would be the two people hitting the block. Like not even Cirie at this point
is going to have. The 18th house guest is Allison. You know what? The jig is up. Jig is up.
See, I'm trying to like get you prepped and ready, Allison.
And I just want to say, Tyler, I appreciate your diagram. You put a lot of work into that. Mm-hmm. Also, Izzy hits the block. She's going to have a nervous breakdown. Okay? She's going to lose her shit. And she's already kind of a little bit all over the place, but I live for it. I'm here for it. Who doesn't love a good meltdown?
My weekly meltdown.
It doesn't have a big flip out spiral out of control. It's insane. Riley crying in the HOH room. Bitch, you didn't even have to nominate anybody. You took 2 people off. And
Right? She had the easiest HOH. Yes, Andrew, exactly.
Andrew, what did you say?
Easiest HOH in Big Brother history.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler, let's throw the graphic back up there.
There we go.
And it's still very, yes, it's right down the middle, but it's still very fluid. I think the Kirsten staying, how does that affect this?
Well, we heard her in the diary room tonight say that she would go back to Riley. Sorry, Jackie.
No, nothing. I was just gonna say I will quit. I will quit watching if Felicia goes. If Riley stays.
No. Hold on, Jackie. Let me rephrase that. I'm talking about a Kirsten staying because they don't do an eviction because Luke is gone. I'm talking about from the perspective of they cancel an eviction. Luke leaves because we have 99 days of summer, and we have to prolong this, which is again why I still think there's more coming. I have more reasons to believe of them more coming and the coach's twist, but we won't. I feel like I've beat that with a dead horse. Like no one leaves. Let's just say no one else leaves. How does Kirsten fit into this?
She has to go with bye-bye bitches, period. That's her only saving grace, even though she's made so many enemies already.
I really need Kirsten to think she's leaving just so I can hear the entire speech that she's been practicing in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, she's been practicing a really spicy eviction speech.
Also, Taylor, when you were giving your whole breakdown, something that stuck out to me, and the one other reason I wanted you to pull this graphic up is you keep talking, but they keep talking about like bye-bye bitches and the handful not being enough, right?
Right.
That's why the Professors and Family Style is born. And with that being said, Cirie needs to still realize, and don't get me wrong, I'm falling for the Cirie mist. I think every week she stays, her chances of winning goes up 22%.
Yeah.
So, like, if she survives 3 weeks, I think she's winning the game. But numbers don't mean crap in Big Brother. Numbers don't mean crap in Big Brother because you can be in a 3-person alliance, but if you win HOH back to back, you just keep putting their asses up against each other.
Yep.
And the vote doesn't matter.
It's certainly not like the brightest strategy in the world to just have like 2 like major sides going. So like ideally, Andrew, like I think the play here, especially for Corey, and I think Corey could do this very well, is if he created like a mighty middle with the outer shells of each group. Like if he got like America and Heisem and Red and bring in Kirsten too now. The issue is he would likely bring Jared into that group too, and then Jared tells Cirie. So like I feel like the Jared mole is just like really gridlocking these 2 like big but like really shaky, fragile sides, and which is really exciting because like say like
you say that, like I think Cirie's got Heisem right where she wants him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Red, I think she's got him pretty close, but I mean, he's still kind of attached to Corey.
And Cameron, too.
And that's what I meant. He's attached to Cameron there. So like, I think that's the falter point on, like, if the Professors falls apart, it's because of Red, who, okay, you can take the graphic away now, sorry. Who I will say, my stock has risen on Red probably more than anyone else.
Okay. All right, give us the pitch for Red, because I don't personally see it. Like when Luke got taken out, Allison was like, Tyler, if you want Red in your draft because it's not your fault. I was like,
yeah, I was like,
okay.
I like him, man. I think Red's the one who's had a twin.
Oh, and by the way, Luke's twin is the 18th house guest.
It's Duke.
Who's targeting Red?
No one.
Right.
Who is targeting? If Professors falls, Red's the last to go, and then Cameron comes to Red and uses him to now take over the other side at that point in time, right? Like, I think Red has just done a really good job, whether you like him as a player or not. After Cherie, he's doing the best job at building relationships. Everyone in the house loves Red. I don't know. I just think I think from a social game standpoint, he might not have a lick of strategy in his body. But from a social standpoint, I think Red's playing a dang good game.
But in a house where like everybody is so cracked, like strategically, like maybe the player that prevails is the one that is actually building like genuine relationships instead of just like, you have to be on my side, and then like we're going to war against like the other side, like that type of thing. Like you might be onto something, Andrew. Like we could lead to like just like the lovable person taking home the win after all this war.
But when the cracks fall, I think Red's the duct tape that puts those cracks back together in almost 14 different scenarios. Go ahead, Jackie.
Oh, I'm listening.
Hey, can I point out something? This is on my way. This is where my brain is. Yes, it's very scary. And someone's on the same wavelength, so that's even scarier. I love that. Samuel says they're going to let everyone vote, reveal the vote, and then say the eviction is canceled. Not only do I want that to happen, I want them to give their speeches. I want the vote to happen. I want Julie to say with a vote of 8-4, there is no eviction. And I want that to simmer all week. I want to know who voted for me. Who was it?
Do you remember Michelle and Big Brother 18, Allison, when she like had that speech where she was like, Nicole's a snake, she's a liar, and then like they ended up keeping her, and her face was like, I thought I was being evicted, and now I just like ran my mouth. Like that's what I want.
Allison, you said 8-4. Where are the votes? I'm thinking it's going to be almost unanimous for Kirsten.
I think
was
so
just
too.
coming up with I didn't want it to be like unanimous. I wanted to be a little off balance.
A little dicey. Yeah.
It was chaos. Because who is it? Let's throw a hinky vote. Listen, what if people are just throwing hinky votes and they end up voting the wrong way? Izzy's head's going to explode.
Yeah, that's what we want. We're just here for good TV.
Next thing I want to theory on.
Yeah.
The Nether region's coming back tomorrow.
I can't wait. It's been
and
busy
it's
with
supposed to
kittens
be
and puppies.
bigger. It's supposed to be a bigger and longer Nether region than before.
Wow. Can it get any wider?
Corey said it will be back, and it will be bigger
and darker
and darker and scarier
and hairier.
And hairier.
Corey admitted this was his first time in the Nether region.
Good for him.
I believe it.
Yeah.
100%.
And we do have a house guest called Hyman, according to Jared. So
oh my God, that was hilarious.
Oh, Hyman and Isman. The spirit was like, "Who's that? Isman? Is it Isman?" And then it was like Hyman. Oh, and Hyman is a great Virginia.
What can you explain to us what a big Nether region is?
It is a dark pit that has no ending. And
that is a girl named Jennifer Stanley from Bartlett High School, class of 1996.
Can I throw another idea?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Nether region is Camp BB.
Oh, please, God, no. That we do not need that shit on our screen again.
I can't handle Camp BB because obviously they're already done with we can't. There's nothing coming. There's no house guests coming. There's nothing. They don't need anything coming out of the Nethers to come because they've got people losing their shit week 1 and getting ejected.
It's 99 days and there's gonna be battle backs.
That's a busy.
What if the Nether region is Camp BB?
It's gay.
I hope not. Please.
I don't want it, but would you be surprised?
I don't know. They just like this whole like metaverse thing is so confusing and stupid. Like, can we just get rid of it and let the players play? I'm with Allison. Like, no more shenanigans. Like, we have such a great board set up. Like, I just don't want like productions like meddling to like fuck it
I
up.
figured it out. The
Oh,
nether
Lord.
regions is Gronk's cruise.
Is
Who's
what?
What?
Rob Gronkowski's cruise?
Who's that?
What is
What am I
that?
talking? What are we doing?
Yup, that was. Are you ready for a takeover? That was the last
Oh.
trip before it got canceled. Was you won a trip on Rob Gronkowski's cruise? The nether region is the cruise ship.
Please, God, no.
Sounds rapey.
This is- I have a question for you guys. Well, I want to ask Jackie this first. How do you feel about Riley's first HOH reign? Because like we had Daniel the first HOH last season. We saw like how far he went. The season prior, we had Frenchie win HOH first, and that went pretty terribly. So are we on like a new trend of like really bad HOH reigns, and like is Riley's HOH reign bad? Like, like give me the scoop. Like, tell me what you think.
So in some of the conversations that I would see her have like late in the evening on the lives, it felt like I wanted to say she was trying so hard, like, but she just doesn't feel very genuine to me. She feels like a robot. Like she's talking to people like a robot, and yeah, and I don't really like that. You don't like pickles, Jared? Oh my God. Pickles are my favorite. That's a cold food. You don't like a cold food? And she just feels really like blank to me. But I'm glad that she had an easy time, this week. No real harm, no foul, I guess. But her as a person, she's not lively enough for me. I'm glad she was the first one, so then we can get past this. I don't think she'll win again. I think how she won this HOH was really kind of like, I don't know, it was so dumb that it was smart. Like she took the longer route and made her faster on the balance beams, but I guess no one else wanted to be HOH this week. So it's like, yay, congratulations, you won the thing that no one else wanted. Yay.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll go very far. I'm hoping that she kind of fizzles out a little bit, but I think crowd control and the handful, I'm rooting for them. I played a game and I had an alliance called the Hand, so I'm like,
Oh.
I kind of am twisted. I kind of want the handful to do something. I'm impartial to the name. Do something with it.
Yeah. Andrew, what do you think? Sorry, Allison.
You go ahead,
Go
Allison.
ahead.
I would love to hear from you first.
I'm just thinking that like everyone says, I don't want to win the first HOH. I'm going to throw it. And I'll be honest with you, I would say that at every HOH competition, just because I know I'm going to fail miserably and I don't want to get that dirty. So, and I don't want, getting sprayed in the face. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I just threw it because I don't need HOH right now. I'll just go for the veto if I get picked.
Allison, the veto queen.
Can you imagine if I'm the veto queen?
I could imagine that, actually.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andrew.
Riley, the game player, is actually really smart.
Yeah, I agree
But
to an extent.
she didn't nominate anybody.
Nope.
She actually looked better by saving 2 people.
Yep.
She mishandled that entire scenario because if you're saving 2 people and they're not at the core of your alliance, like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And it gave her an emotional breakdown. So what's going to happen when she's nominated? What's going to happen when she's having to vote between 2 people from her alliance? Like, the emotions are going to destroy Riley in this game. And that's where Cirie is just so good. She checks those emotions at the door. It's a game, baby. Let's go, right? Like, check it at the door. Ari, you gotta go. So my trader's pot is bigger, right? Like, we can be friends. We can do these things, but no, he a traitor. He knows I'm one too, but no, he gotta go. Like, she realizes the game is the game is the game.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, people could be like, well, that's because she's been playing these games for a while. No, baby, she was that way back in Micronesia. She was that way when she started this thing. It was just game for Cirie. And it was what the best part of Cirie's strategy from the beginning and why I originally fell in love with her. And she's been one of my favorite Survivor. Her and Parvati have been my favorite 2 players from the history of Survivor ever starting is Cirie don't want to beat nobody else. Cirie wants to beat Cirie.
Yeah.
Cirie wants to be the best that Cirie can be so she can say that I'm the best Cirie. It's not about beating other people. It's proving that she can do it, that she can get off that couch and do it. And that's what it's always been with her. And that's why she's so good. She doesn't care about anybody else in this game except her. But I'm loving this whole Jared situation. And I'm ready for the day when Cirie's going to have to decide, do I set myself up better or do I make the decision that sets us up better but might not win? Because it's coming.
I think it's coming, but I think it's not coming very soon because I think she's going to hit that point with Izzy first and a lot sooner. And I think I think the only anchor in Cirie's game right now is Izzy being such a recluse, being such loose lips, sinking chips, and just giving Cirie a lot of false information just because she is so paranoid. It's crazy. So I hope that but it's fragile, right? Because Izzy's the only one that knows about Jared, and that is terrifying to Cirie, or it should be. I think Cirie should really take the first opportunity she can to cut Izzy loose in a way that's not her fault, so that Izzy doesn't say on the way out the door, "Oh, by the way, Jared is Cirie's son." Bye. You know what I mean? And Izzy is the type if Izzy is as bitter as Andy is, once Andy was betrayed by Cirie and the traitors, Izzy's a very capable person of doing something like that on the way out the door.
And I would live for it. I live for it. I want drama. I want the pot stirred. I don't want anyone having a mental meltdown. Don't get me wrong, or seriously, I take mental health seriously. But people freaking out and being so paranoid, that's me on a daily basis, okay? So to see other people doing it in the house, it just makes me so freaking happy.
Wait, entertain my crazy fan fiction. So what if that happens, right? And then so Riley and Jack are oh, so you were the mole that told us everybody else about our group of 8. And then Cirie and everybody else be oh, so it's confirmed you have a group of 8. And then the next the HOH that they have to walk out into the backyard is the pressure cooker. And they're they're all of them together all of night with all of this tension surrounding finally finding out that Jared and Cirie are related. That would be delicious television.
Delicious television.
I also will say, if we get the pressure cooker like we think we might, Cirie's winning that.
For sure.
You think so?
Oh, if she needs to.
Okay, Izzy and Cirie are the last 2 in the pressure cooker. What is Cirie going to say to Izzy to convince her?
She throws it to Izzy so she can be HOH next week.
I think Izzy will be Cirie, what do you want? I will do whatever you want. That's best for you.
To be fair, Tyler, on premiere night, I said the first person Cirie's going to go to is her fangirl.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I said that night 1. The first person Cirie's going to go to is her fangirl, and that is Izzy.
Yeah.
My favorite, what was it? And I think this was from premiere night and we didn't talk about it. Or who was it when Izzy was talking about how I'm 99.5% gay, but my 0.05% chance is
for Matt.
Oh, that she's I'm 99% lesbian, but there's that 1%. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was yeah, girl. Yes. Hey, I think blue is beautiful. I am 99% straight, but there's that 1%.
I will say, Andrew was saying, red was his most improved upon first impression. I think my most improved first impression is Allison. It's actually blue. I think that she's playing a lot better game. I thought we were gonna get this sloppy, messy, like young recruit Gen Z, just like Instagram girly, you know what I mean? But like she has done such a great job, like not only building connections like within her group of 8. She's like in the core of that with Jack and Riley, right? I always see her like having one-on-one conversations with people, even outside of the 8. Like her and Cirie had a really great conversation where I was like, I could see this being like a working relationship moving forward.
I have a blue theory.
Okay.
Hear me out. Since nobody wants to let this twin theory die. What if Blue is the twin? And because I've noticed some things, her hair, one minute her bangs are down and then the next minute they're clipped back. And I'm like,
Can I kill your theory real quick?
just shit on my dreams.
Alternate.
What's new?
If she was the twin twist, she
That's
never
true.
would have been the alternate.
Okay, well, it was just a theory. I didn't say it was going to happen.
I mean, I could see what you're saying, but if she was the twin twist, she never would have been the alternate.
Yeah.
But if it was, her twin needs to be pink.
That's
Blue
funny.
and pink. Yeah. How do you guys feel about? So I had this in my notes. I said, and tell me if I'm like off base on this, but are Jack and Riley the new Kaser and Janelle?
That's come up a lot, but I don't know. It's been a week. I am
cannot
dedicated.
call Riley Janelle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to sit back and watch this because Allison's extremely old school, extremely dedicated to Janelle and Kaser back in the day, and also that's got to be proven. That needs a little bit longer that's got to cook a little bit longer.
Okay, Tyler, let
Gotta
me
be
throw
earned.
that one at you.
Yeah,
Are Cirie and Jared the Dick and Danny?
I think so. Like I said in the premiere, I was like, if Dick and Danny can go all the way together, like Cirie and Jared could easily do this, and do it with far less like production interference too.
Yeah, but Dick
I
and
love
Danny
Danny,
didn't
but-
like each other.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like if like an estranged relationship going into the house can figure it out and go all the way to the end, Cirie like and her son who like have like a great relationship already, and it's Cirie's mind. Like there's like I really struggle, you guys, to think of a situation where like Cirie is voted out of this game. I don't know why. I just like can't picture it. And if she wins, she will be the oldest winner in Big Brother history as well. So
And she'll be the greatest reality TV contestant to ever exist.
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Kim Matina, the Kim Matina. Kim Matina. Repeat that, Mama Kim. How many times did Janelle cry and whimper?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm saying Riley's got to toughen up a little bit. We got to toughen up, girl, because what are you going to do when you win HOH and you've got to nominate somebody?
Yeah.
Lord help me, Jesus. They're going to
So-
put fluoride in the water. I don't
So-
know what they're going to do.
If Riley's Janelle, is Cameron Dr. Will?
Oh!
I wouldn't hate it.
I would.
Or not Cameron. Sorry, I was thinking about Corey. Oh hell no, Cameron. I hope he's not long for this game. That's what I'll say.
Aw.
Oh, he's the new Turner, dude. He's making it to 3. I'm calling it now.
Do we have, and
This
then
is
we're
out
getting
of
close to an
spite
hour,
from
but do we have
Jesus.
any showmances? I don't really think there's a whole lot blooming.
No, thank God. Can we please have a showmanceless
think so.
season? Please.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like. I mean, Blue's been flirting with like a lot of the guys, but like I think that's just like who she is. I don't think she like really has like serious eyes set on anybody. I don't know.
You know who we haven't talked about?
Yeah.
Mimi. McCall.
Jackie, what do you think about
Goes by
Nicole?
Mimi.
Oh,
She's pretty unmemorable for me. She's one of those that I think she might fly under the radar for a little while. It's kind of coast. I will be honest with y'all. I'll tell y'all. I don't know if y'all are seeing it, but Cirie Felicia, Mimi, if Kirsten makes it back, the four of them are secretly working together. I know with the cookout, it was like you couldn't see it day one, but I've been watching the lives and there's a secret, like little bit of communication between them. And they're like, yo, we gotta stay together. I don't know if Jared is involved in that. I don't think so. I mean, Tariq could be telling Jared that, but I think that Mimi may end up riding the wave gently of that soft four Black woman alliance. And I don't think that the world will find it. So you heard it here first. T, I'm sure they're doing something together and she may end up riding that wave, but she doesn't seem very memorable to me. Right now, she's just humiliated herself in the first challenge and that's it. Like, she's just trying to like, okay, let me hide under a rock from that, but she's not standing out to me at all.
What about like Bowie? Do you think that Bowie is regretting lying about? Remember, I said don't lie about your age. All the other older ladies, now we are. I'm 46. Who would 63? Blah, blah, blah. Do you think she's regretting not being honest about her age? What, like, would you go back and go, okay, y'all, look, since we're all in this together, I'm 46.
Serena and Felicia, heck yeah. Y'all, I'm no one's 30 nothing, 40, 30, 20, anything.
Do you think she should fess up or keep going with it? I mean, does it matter? Because like she's not even anywhere. Like she's barely in an episode. She was working out with Hissam. Like Hissam is in the gym all the time. Dude, calm down. We get it. You are fine. You are a fine man.
Don't count Hissam out.
I'm not counting him out, but like, dude, get out of the gym. Every time I'm on the feeds and I'm not watching kittens and rainbows and Julie's nether garden, it's Hissam in the. I'm not trying to be. I can't pronounce shit. That's how I am. I don't know how to say names right. I apologize.
It's not Hyman.
It's not Hyman in the gym. I mean, he's literally in the gym, and he's a good guy. Listen, I need to be.
He is a gym guy.
He's a gym guy. I need to be in the gym more than lately. I really do.
I don't know what's going on with Bowie Jane, to be honest. Like, I feel like she just like always walks into the room and she's like,
"Is she a twin? She's a twin. She's the twin."
I would love that. That would be hilarious.
The twins' names are Bowie and Jane, so they go by Bowie Jane. So you can go by either name. I crack, y'all.
There you go. Allison cracked the code.
No, but I'm going to go back to Bowie Jane, feeding into my more people are coming theory, because she kept talking about BB Australia, who is very well known for Intruders.
Maybe we're getting someone from BB Australia or BB Survivor.
What if
Tim Dormer would be a great addition.
Love, I would love Tim. I mean, like, there's all the names that have been mentioned. There's nothing that I would be upset with.
Bananas?
I'm okay with bananas.
Okay.
What if we replaced Luke with Luke from Australian Survivor?
I would like that. Yeah, I think that's a good. Yeah, nobody will notice.
No one will notice. We still have a Luke.
Yeah, exactly. He just needs to do that like pose for his like portrait, the like one eye up thingy that Luke did.
Kim brings up a great point, because she is lying about more things. If Bowie were to admit her age, I'd be thinking, what else is she lying about?
I thought that too immediately after.
Like maybe she's a lawyer or something.
She is.
I don't think Bowie's long for this game.
She's a barrister. That's a lawyer, is it not?
She is a lawyer. Yeah. I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tyler, I think she's a floater till jury for sure.
I see her being the casualty of like a tough double eviction.
Yeah, that's a
like
double
a Chicken
eviction.
George like elimination.
Like
know?
she can't find the clown shoe.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where's my clown shoe?
Where's my clown shoe? What kind
I
of
could
suit was
also see
that?
her like Lawaning herself out.
That would be legendary. All right, I'm gonna update our draft here because we do have a first casualty already. So here we go. I'm down to 2, but it's exciting to me that I have both Riley and Jag. Like, I'm really rooting for them as a pair to like succeed through this because they're on my draft team together. Yeah.
Well,
All right, how are we feeling? Let's check in with our draft teams. How are we feeling?
Jackie, you go first. Yours is over.
I know you all were saying who you were positive about now after having this first week. My opinions of Jared have gone down just a little bit.
Okay.
I was rooting for him, but also I didn't know that Cirie was going to be on the show. But I don't know if maybe having Cirie on the show is making him like weird to me. I don't know. He also is just really forgetful. I'm not sure if this is really meant for him. But with Cirie there, he seems to be doing okay, like as his personal coach. Felicia and Izzy both are fangirls of Cirie, my whole team is a Cirie Connect. So if anybody in my team wins, it's because of Cirie.
Yeah, you got a final two.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess just call my team Cirie instead of Team Jackie. So.
You really embraced your inner Cirie while you were picking your draft team.
Apparently I did. And then I'm only disappointed in the fangirlness of Felicia and Izzy just a little bit, but it happens. I would too. If I were in a game with Cirie, I'd be like, I'm clinching onto you like white on rice. I don't care. I am here. Me and you to the end. But one of them definitely is going to make it to the final two because of Cirie.
I also think we need to, talking about that Cirie and talking about Jared and kind of where he went up and down for you, we need to discuss really quickly how because we didn't cover Sunday's episode, Jared did know she was coming.
Yeah, he did. I noticed that too. Yeah.
He admitted
I'm glad they just admitted it.
And I said that, by the way, Allison called it. I said there was no way they didn't know.
Allison was right.
Just
Nelda said they should have made Lawan come into the BB verse still looking for his power.
I would love that. Allison, how are you feeling about your draft team?
I just want to point out, Tyler, your team, we kind of made the comment that Luke looked like a serial killer. Well, he murdered his own game. I could not go without. Okay, I had to throw that terrible dad joke in there. I love my team. I got the Creeper. I got Bowie and her twin Jane. I got Blue flying under the radar. I am sitting pretty.
I love that you're just referring to him as the Creeper.
I got basically 4 people. I'm good. I'm so good.
Andrea, how are you feeling about yours?
Why is that so funny for you, Tyler?
No, I'm just like, I don't know why, but like I'm looking at Cameron's picture and I'm like, what if the 18th house guest is like hidden in his hair somewhere? Like that's where my mind is right now. But Andrea, how are you feeling about your draft team?
So regardless of what happens with Kirsten tomorrow, I do think that if Kirsten ultimately if Kirsten does survive for some reason, I think she's a jury. And I also think my sleeper on the third row, Matt, is not in a horrible position.
Mm-mm.
And I want to ask, because Tyler, you were so down on Matt, how do you feel about Matt now?
Yeah, he's growing on me. I do think that he is really struggling. Like he openly admits that this has been like a harder experience for him than he originally thought because he's like missing a lot of conversations and stuff. But I feel like I feel like the ideal spot for either of these like sides is to be in that the outside of that middle group. You know, like you will never be like the first one or even second or third out of like the majority alliance to be taken out, but you don't have like the responsibility and the burden that like Riley and Jack are carrying right now because they created it, you know? So I feel like Matt is in a good spot to kind of float, swimmer pun very much so intended, to like wherever he needs. Like say when like shit hits the fan in a few weeks, like nobody's going to be pointing at Matt as like the blame for anything that's going on. So I think he's in an okay spot, and he could certainly win some comps too.
So what I want to say real quick, because Beth says I love Matt, but this has been really tough on him. I feel bad that nobody thinks of him. While the whole Cameron Riley situation was going down last night, the rest of the house was playing Zip Zap Zop, and the game festered out, and I don't remember who said it because someone said, I'm going to go hang out with Matt because he can't really do this game and he's getting
Yeah.
frustrated. And a couple of them did quit and go play, and the game kind of fizzled out after that.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad someone, kind of.
Do you know who said that, Andrew?
I don't remember because when I'm in school mode, so like I try not to watch the feeds religiously because I need to fall asleep. So I like read with them on in the background.
Okay, gotcha. Well, whoever said that, good on them. I hope some good karma goes their way. That's very sweet.
That's how I am in life. Like if I see someone sitting by themselves, I kind of try to read the room. If they seem like someone that wants to be alone, I kind of leave them. But if they seem like someone that's kind of just scared and confused, I used to be that person. So
Yeah.
I like
It
to
was
kind of.
Kirsten, is what Kim says.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Man, everybody's just shitting on Kirsten. And I'm like, yeah, she came in swinging. She was in a alliance the first night. Who isn't? Calm down. She's playing the game. So what if she played too hard, too fast? She's playing. How many people aren't playing? Give her some credit. Good.
I think
grief.
Andrew's right. I think and Allison, exactly to your point, I think that people and I think both sides really need Kirsten too. So that's gonna if Kirsten is here next week because the eviction's canceled, there is no way she hits the block next week. And Andrew, I think you are exactly right that she could be on a Taylor trajectory. Being the last person not getting caught in a big side or another, I think is a really valuable thing too.
I need a Kirsten HOH if she doesn't go tomorrow.
I would love that.
See sheer panic.
And I hope she nominates one person from each side and be like, "You bitches figure it out."
So
You guys fight it out.
Who do I want to win? I want Izzy to win HOH because I want chaos.
Yes,
that shit will implode next week if Izzy is HOH. And I know Sari will be safe no matter what. So we'll get good TV, and Sari will have another week to just lay her masterful strategic work.
I'm happy with anyone really winning HOH at this point. Well, I would like to see a Izzy. I'd like to see a Kirsten if she stays.
Yeah.
I am not ready
think
for a
Assam would
Suri
be
HOH. I'm not ready for.
That would be terrible for her game.
Yeah, I think that a Corey HOH would be funny. It's just
I think a Corey HOH is worst case scenario for Sari.
Yeah, it's just gonna hit the fan. It's happening. It's happening. Felicia HOH, I would love that. I just I need more of her laughter. Her laughing in
Izzy's face was so upset.
Yeah, she's like, I hate Cameron. I just hate him. She's like, you can't hate him. I hate that I can't hate him. She's like, in her face. I'm just like, this is the greatest thing ever. And they're laughing together. She's not laughing at her. Izzy found the humor in it. But it was just kind of someone who can make you laugh in that kind of moment is just that I like to be that person. I get it. It's just, look, you got to laugh at the situation. What else are you going to do? So.
I have two more thoughts about Riley before we sign off of here.
Okay.
My first is that she, Andrew, you said earlier that she's a very smart and capable player, and I totally agree with that. But I think her downfall in this game is going to be being way too empathetic, and we've seen her really unravel over the smallest bit of heat this week, and I do mean the smallest bit of heat. This is not anything that's destroying her game or anything, but she is just totally unraveling. She cannot handle being the executioner in this game, and I feel it's really interesting to see somebody so outwardly struggling with the empathy of it all. I feel we don't get those type of players often. So I think that will be Riley's downfall, but I just think it's a really interesting trait that we don't see a lot on Big Brother players to really just kind of look at and just think about while watching. But also in terms of her own mistakes, I think the biggest mistake she has made throughout this entire HOH is her just being cooped up in that HOH room all week long. And she's like what she said to Sari when she was having her breakdown, she was like, I feel like half of the house feels like they can't come up and have a conversation with me because I'm HOH, and I feel like I'm the one getting like all this blood on my hands, and like I'm the one that's like gonna get like the blame for like these two sides and stuff like that. And I'm like, you should have listened to like Dr. Will's playbook. Like he said, like if you win HOH, or he was like, if I were to ever win HOH, I would literally not even sleep in the HOH room. I would be downstairs with the house guests because you are separated from everything going on downstairs. And especially with 17 house guests in the space without that backyard unlocked for the first couple of days, it was nearly impossible to have a like just quiet conversation with just two people because there's just like literally nowhere to be, like to have your own space. And I feel like Riley missed out on a lot of like those connections by isolating herself up there. And that's her own doing. Like you don't, just because you have the key to the HOH room doesn't mean you need to like chain yourself there with that key.
Hey,
Tyler.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Allison.
No, you're fine.
Quick, just idea. We're getting close to the end. I've got to go soon.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
we're getting a ton of questions in the chat. Like, can someone explain why Heism hates Corey?
That's what I was gonna.
Can we maybe make a Google form and tweet it out, and we can maybe do a Q&A answer tomorrow night because we'll have some time after the live show, I think.
Yeah. Like, and we could even like, I can even like bring up this chat. Like I can have the studio up tomorrow while we're in the other one. So I can like be scrolling through this and looking at the questions. Cause that's like a whole nother thing is like Heisem and Corey that like, we could talk about that for like another like 30 minutes. So,
and there's like, other than Kirsten, who's made the biggest mistake in the game so far? Like these are questions I'd love to answer.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't see them while I was going on my like rambling.
No, you're not right. You're fine. I see them too. And yeah, guys, we're going to do better on that. We'll get get them answered for you. It's just, there's so much going on. And it's so hard to keep up with everything, but we do see them and we're going to go back and take notes and get them answered for you tomorrow. But it's definitely, I have to say, you know, this is very reminiscent of old school Big Brother, and I could not be happier with everything going on. I will say every freaking time I sign on to the live feeds, I'm in the nethers with kittens and puppies. Or with Heisem in the gym. So I got to get out. I got to figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do. But this is exciting. And guys, are we going to be back Sunday evening or
we're back tomorrow?
I mean, we'll be back tomorrow and then Sunday.
I'm free Sunday if we want to do Sunday. Yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about because this HOH is going to be really pivotal to see like how it goes.
Yeah, our regular schedule we're planning on will be Sunday evenings and Thursday night evictions. It just got a little jumbled up this week, so I just want to kind of throw that out there really quick. Guys, please subscribe to My Weekly Meltdown on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. We're on Spotify. And, you know, become a patron. We're going to start doing live. I figured it out. I got it tweaked tonight. How did patrons? We can do a live watch on eviction night, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait. Going to start that tomorrow night, and I'll put the link on the Patreon page. I'm sorry. I tried it the last couple of weeks, and it just blew up in my face. But I tested it with Jackie tonight, and it worked. So we're good to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, Andrew, are you going to be back tomorrow too?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, so yeah, we'll continue all this tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'm just like hogging the mic, just like talking about strategy. I am just like geeking out. All right.
On live feed show, are we going to mention Challenge CBS?
I think we should. Yeah. So that's a good point too. The challenge like starts tomorrow after the Big Brother live eviction. So we will watch that, and I'm sure we'll talk about that at the end of Sunday's recap. I think we should. It's going to be a good season. That seems.
We can talk about bananas twice.
Yeah, there you go. Hopefully, only once.
Lord help me, Jesus.
All right. Well, everybody have a good rest of your night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.